Hello, friends, and welcome into College Football Now. I am your host, Tom Downey, back once again with a brand new AP Top 25 poll. Let's see what the pollsters revealed this week. At number 1 remains LSU. No change there, really not much of a surprise. Ohio State, they check in at number 2. Clemson checks in at number 3. And then your first change of the week. Georgia usurps number 5, Alabama. Georgia takes down Auburn. Alabama wins, but they also lose their star quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. So stay tuned. We will have an updated Heisman Trophy race for you. Is Tua even still in the mix at all? Plus, an injury update on Tua and what it means going forward for Alabama. All right, let's move along now. Number 6, that is the Oregon Ducks. Utah, they check in at number 7. Oklahoma, they check in at number 8, so Oregon stays 6. Utah actually rises up one spot. Oklahoma jumps from number 10 up to number 8. Penn State stays at number 9. Florida back inside the top 10. Penn State takes on Ohio State. So who do you guys have in this one? It is a top 10 matchup. Penn State on the road against the Buckeyes. Ohio State hasn't been beaten this year. Every one of their games has been a 3-point or 3-score or better margin of victory. So who do you guys have? Type P for Penn State, O for Ohio State. The Buckeyes are a 13-point favorite at home against a fellow top 10 team. At number 11, Minnesota, they go on the road. They lose to Iowa, and the pollsters are a joke. How on earth do you rank Minnesota the same record as Penn State, 2 spots below them, when they are a week removed from beating them head-to-head? It's an absolute joke. Michigan continues to be ahead of Wisconsin because head-to-head apparently doesn't matter there either. Baylor splits those two teams. They only drop one spot after that heartbreaking loss to the Sooners. Wisconsin's 14. They could jump up one spot. And Notre Dame rises one spot. Those teams moved up because then number 13, Auburn, lost this week. They are now number 16. To be honest, I would put Cincinnati and Memphis ahead of the 3-loss Auburn Tigers. But whatever. They don't give me a vote because I call them out too often. Iowa, they check in at number 19. They go up a few spots. Then a big drop off there. You can see it throughout this 16 to 20 in terms of points and all that. Boise State, they check in at number 20. Now, if you guys are like me, you hate commercials that are on, for example, the CBS games, because they run a ridiculous amount of commercials in their big matchup of the week. It drives me insane. I hate them during Sunday football games as well. So get rid of it once and for all. chatsports.com/mytv. Download the MyTV choice. Have that link sends you right to the spot to download it. Hook it up with your smart TV. When a commercial comes on, the phone will know, and it will send awesome videos, like from those of us here at Chat Sports, instead of the same crappy commercials over and over again. Download that app today for free at chatsports.com/mytv. The rest of the top 25 here, SMU, they check in at number 21. Oklahoma State rises up. App State, A&M, and the Virginia Tech Hokies all back at the top 25. It's actually the first time this year that the Hokies have been ranked. Reports of their depth were premature, it appears. All right, those teams receiving votes. Indiana, they tried against Penn State but couldn't pull it off. Iowa State, they've got 31 point/votes there. Virginia still lurking. Maybe they can get ranked if they can beat Virginia Tech later on in the year. Navy, they got blown out by Notre Dame. Air Force, so 2 service academies. How about that? Pitt, they check in next with 9 points. San Diego State has 7. USC and Washington, a pair of Pac-12 programs, both have 6. Somebody voted for Texas. Not really sure why. Don't feel they're deserving. They are way out of the top 25 now. And then finally, rounding out the AP top 25 in terms of those teams receiving votes, Illinois, 1 person voted them to check in at number 25. As promised, the Tua injury update left the Alabama game in what was supposed to be his last drive of that matchup against Mississippi State with a dislocated hip. Alabama has confirmed he is out for the remainder of the season, and it's a pretty massive blow, not just for the Crimson Tide, but also for Tua. Even if he recovers fully and he turns pro this year, I don't know that Tua is going to be the same likely top 2, if not, worst case, top 3, top 4, top 5 draft pick. He probably lost himself a pretty significant amount of money, which is unfortunate for a player who has been so good for so long at Alabama. Meanwhile, for Alabama, I think this is a pretty big blow for their college football playoff hopes. So should Alabama make the CFP without Tua, you're going to have an Alabama team that we know is supposed to be good. But the one team they've played that was ranked was LSU. They lost that game. A&M, because of their schedule, unless they pull a bunch of upsets, they're probably not going to be ranked down the stretch. Their best win will be over a 4-loss Auburn team. It's not really what you're looking for there if you're Alabama. And you're starting quarterbacks out. And the committee, in their own bylaws and criteria, say other factors like injuries. I think this might be a pretty big blow for Alabama's college football playoff. Let me know what you guys think. Should they make it? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Heisman Trophy time. I will continue to list Chase Young at number 4. He's going to come back. He's going to need a couple of big games down the stretch once he gets back from that suspension against Penn State. But he's kind of got a pretty tough path there. His teammate, though, Justin Fields, he might be the front runner among the Ohio State players. J.K. Dobbins has also been fantastic this year. And Ohio State's blown out so many teams, maybe we're ignoring how good Justin Fields has been. 69% completion percentage. That, by the way, super nice. Over 2,000 yards passing. An insane 31-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's looked great every game, and he brings you some value on the ground as well. 84 carries, 377, and 10 scores. Fields has been fantastic. I think deserves a little more of the hype that others are getting, understandably so, for the Heisman Trophy. He should at least get an invite to New York. Jalen Hurts, he checks in at number 2. Had he lost to Baylor, he probably would have slid from 2 down to 3. Bit of a sluggish start, I think, for Hurts and the Oklahoma Sooners, but they bounced back in a big way later on in that game. 28-3, a cursed lead in college football and the NFL, it would appear, even if you're outside of Atlanta. We've now learned that one, too. 4 touchdowns. He was overall a very strong showing, although not the best start. But at number 1, the heavy favorite right now, although we learned last year not to give the awards to anyone, even in the middle of November, that's Joe Burrow. 32 of 42 for nearly 500 yards against Ole Miss, 5 scores, 2 interceptions. His first multi-interception game of the year, I believe just his second in his college football career. Burrow's been fantastic. If LSU wins out, Joe Burrow, I think, is going to be your Heisman Trophy winner. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Who do you think will win the Heisman this year? There are other deserving players to mention, but I think Joe Burrow, I would argue rightfully so, will win and also should win. Time now for some Week 12 winners and losers around college football. First up, the Pac-12. Things went according to plan. Remember, they actually wanted Baylor to lose. They got that. They needed their own teams to continue to win as well. Oregon taking on Arizona. Easy peasy, 34-6. Justin Herbert played very, very well. And then Utah, they blow out UCLA. That's the largest margin of victory that a Utah team has had in a Pac-12 game. He was absolutely fantastic there. Everything going according to plan there. Although they don't have to worry about Oklahoma. They are our next winner here because the Sooners got what they needed. Down 28-3. Didn't look great for the Sooners there. They said, okay, Boomer, and take down Baylor. 28-3 was that deficit, a cursed score. They rallied strong, had a fantastic showing. The Sooners did. They win 34-31, a big-time comeback for Oklahoma, who still might have to face Baylor in the Big 12 championship game. Now, today's show was brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Maybe you bet on Iowa to beat Minnesota. You ended up winning some money there. It was a pretty good bet, by the way. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Finally, the CFP committee. Now, their process was wrong, and I will continue to say it was wrong. Ranking Baylor and ranking Minnesota so low, the process was incorrect. They should have been higher, but the results look pretty good for them, don't they? Speaking of the CFP committee, we will have their next college football playoff rankings. We'll release it live here Tuesday, November 19th. So make sure you are subscribed to us here on YouTube. Click that notification bell. You'll be alerted when we go live. CFP committee will send us the rankings. Maybe there won't be that much change, but there's definitely always something to watch out for. So make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. All right, the losers now. Look, I don't want to put Alabama here, but I think that's the only acceptable outcome. Yes, they won their game. They lost their star quarterback. I think they're in trouble now. Like, they cannot have that happen. And not only that, frankly, Bama needed Auburn to win. They didn't do that. They couldn't move the football. Bo Nix led the team both passing and rushing, and frankly, that's pretty horrid efficiency. Georgia's going to win the SEC East, but Alabama needed Auburn to be better. Now they're going to be, at best case, an 8-4 team. That's your best win? I don't think the community's going to look very, very good on that, especially with Tua now out. Michigan State, they check in next, and oh boy, this offense is offensive, frankly. It's just gross. They can't run the football. Brian Lewerke can't throw it. Michigan State, after getting blown out by the Wolverines, Michigan got a freaking 100-yard receiver for the first time in years. Shea Patterson looked like a potential Heisman frontrunner. Of course, Heisman that way this year, but that was great for him. They threw it all over Sparty. Now they're 4-6. They have to win out against Rutgers. They should win in Maryland. Who knows, based on how this Michigan State team is playing. It's been rough. I do wonder if this is the tail end of the Mark D'Antonio tenure. It's just not working. Finally, Texas. They are the last loser here. So some big-name programs on this week's loser side. I have never seen a team play down to its competition quite like Texas. They get up for big games. I think they're going to get up for Baylor now. But they don't get up for these games they're supposed to win. I know it's tough to go on the road against Iowa State, but Texas still has Baylor. Are they going to finish 7-5, or will they pull off another upset? I'll probably bet on them to win that game. But Texas, guys, come on. You're supposed to be back, not back outside the top 25. One more time, the AP Top 25 poll. Rutgers scored 21 on the Buckeyes. They're overrated. I am kidding, of course, but I just wanted to make note of that because I thought OSU would cover the spread. They didn't. They could have scored 100 if they tried, though, but they didn't really try much in that game. All right, 6 through 10 here. I want to shout out Oregon and Utah and Oklahoma, too. In reality, those teams could all be fighting for one college football playoff spot. The Pac-12 will take care of itself, but will Oklahoma have a path in? They're still behind Oregon and Utah in the AP and the CFP. 11 through 15, it is a joke that Minnesota is ranked behind Penn State. They have the same mark. They are both, this year, very good programs. They are both 9-1. So why would you rank the team that just beat the other team behind them? Minnesota should be above Penn State. Frankly, it is laughable that the AP poll voters go, that ahead of the result for a tiebreaker? Doesn't matter. We're going to rank Penn State ahead of them. That's a joke. Unbelievable, but it's something they always do. That's why I'm not a big fan of the AP poll voters, because they don't know what they're doing. It's laughable. All right, 16 through 20 here. I'd rank Auburn a little bit lower, but let's shout out those AAC teams. Cincinnati at 17, Memphis at 18, also SMU at 21. The AAC still has more ranked teams than the ACC does. And then finally here, A&M, they are ranked back in the top 25, number 24, just in time to probably lose to both Georgia and LSU because, well, that's the curse of being a good but not great team in the SEC with a tough schedule. You'll lose to a bunch of good teams, but if you don't win one, you're just not going to end up being in the AP Top 25.